Welcome back, everybody, to Blastar 6 EU League, our final matchup and possibly the epitome of matches that we have for today. That is Team Secret versus Wolves. In many ways, Team Secret has been seen as this dark horse over the past few months. No longer, given the way that they're competing, but it's Wolves on the other side that at the start of the stage we're thinking we're seeing Fnatic, the Ences of this region. Can Wolves hold on? They've actually not done too badly at all. Let's talk about this in general for these standings, because Jack, there could be a shift on the number 2 spot.
So whoever wins this game will be the number 2 seed. What will that get you? That will get you 2 best of 3s at the major. The reason for that is both Wolves and Secret, you can see them on your screen there, 13 points each. One of them will win. So either they will get 3 points in a regulation win or 2 points in an overtime win. If it's 2 points, they will also then get plus on the round differential, which is the first tiebreaker, and therefore be in front of ITB. So whoever wins this game, whichever method they win this game in, they will be the second place team and have a significant advantage at going to the Manchester Major.
So if whoever wins this game only needs to win 1 more best of 3 and they are set for Manchester.
And they'll get 2 shots at it as well.
That is absolutely huge, Fabio.
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, that's the position you want to put yourself in, because 2 games, yeah, sure, you can have some nerfs in the first one, you still have another shot. Obviously, you don't want to go to that game either, but just having the opportunity to kind of secure yourself, because if you go into the seeds underneath that, if you lose the first one, well, you're not getting that second chance.
Yeah, and that is the biggest issue, the big conundrum of this matchup. Let's talk about both of our squads, starting off with Wolves, our French roster. And I gotta say, they really picked up the speed. They got back into it, and certainly Deadshot has after a pretty abysmal SI.
Yeah, I mean, SI aside, if we just look at the start of this entire stage, they looked lost. Like, genuinely, it looked like they had no idea how to play as a group or how to play as individuals within a sort of structure. They looked very lost. They didn't play together. Timings were off. Communication looked off. And you saw on their face cams that something was just really, really, really wrong. You can't have that at this level. And somehow, they have managed to step up massively towards the end stage. And they're looking great right now.
And we're looking to see in detail, how does a round for Wolves look like on the execution? Hey, let's go over to Fresh. He's got something to talk about, and it's Telestration. We love every bit of it.
Yeah, I do, Milos, and I've criticized Wolves. You know, Fabian said they started the stage off pretty poorly. I criticized them. I called them out for their lack of droning, their lack of team play, their solo play. I've got to compliment them now. I've got to love them. And what I liked here, there's twofold to what I liked here. First and foremost, is going to be a play into Church and Arsenal. The dirt door is barricaded. They're going to do a nice little play where they force their way through the dirt door that's barricaded with a Goyo canister on. So if we just clear the screen and get it rolling, you're going to see P4. He's going to waltz in after the door gets barricaded, finds the kill. That isn't what Wolves, you know, I was criticizing them on. That's a play that Wolves do all the time. It opens up rounds for them quite literally all of the time. Now, the bit that I liked actually is once they took control of site, P4 finds another kill here. It's the discipline and the team play that I liked from Wolves. Now, if I draw 2 lines, once they've got control of site, where can the attackers come from? They can come down here, all the way down the main stairs, or they can come from blue to try and retake. Wolves understand that, and this is the bit that they've been getting right recently. This is the bit that I've been liking. Has been that their team play has been excellent. P4, look at what he's not doing as I speed it back up. What's he not doing? He's not challenging, he's not planting, waiting for his team. What's he waiting for, you might ask? Well, Mowgli is going to be on the Grim. And what he's going to do is actually fire off and Grim off all of the blue area in just a second as this comes in. That means that the plant execution is completely 100% set up. As you can see, there's just so many bees. They're absolutely everywhere. This is the team play from Wolves that gets the plant down. As soon as the plant's down, the round is basically won from Wolves. So we can pretty much stop it there, in my opinion. The things that they were failing on at the start of the stage, they are now getting absolutely right. And that's why they are demolishing teams. And that's why they're in serious contention for being a top 2 team.
Thank you very much, Fresh. And from Wolves, we move on to Team Secret that have also had their own resurgence. I talk about this squad as coming into the stage and into 2024 as dark horses. Miracle has been all over the place in terms of performance, but Savage specifically has had big games, and Adrian has been a beauty to watch this entire stage, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we love Adrian. I think if you've been watching any broadcast, you'll think we're just the Adrian fan club. Secret have just been so improved. I think they've gone from, their general story is, like you say, they've gone from like a bottom of the barrel team, you know, from being bottom of EUL to, you know, they scraped 6 invitational through LCQs, whereas now they're a top team, a top contending team with good strategy, with a great IGL, with a great front line, and they've picked up probably one of the star rookies. A star rookie, I don't even know if that makes sense. A rookie with a potential that is just uncapped. Like, Fabian keeps calling him the next rookie, the next best rookie since Leaky Fuck.
I'm really looking forward to it then. But when it comes to actual execution on site, we'll have a telestration exactly for that. Fabian is waiting for us down at the station, and I think I remember this play. So please, executions is all that it's all about, Fabian.
Yeah, I mean, after the first play day, me and Jack had a telestration where we showed 4 different plant positions on Clubhouse. Here, however, we're in a different map. It's Consulate. 3 versus 4 to set the scene. It's versus G2. This game was a weird one where teams were just fragging out on each other. What I want to show you first of all, these are the rotations that G2 have available to them. One right here, obviously the door. One rotation here in kitchen into garage, and then they have some shooting holes here. So what you can see is, in this situation, being 3 players alive for Secret is going to be a very rough time to push in. What do Secret do to clear this out? We'll start the clip, and you'll see right this. Pay attention to Hume. He's on the floor above, and what he's going to do is, he's on Ram, so he will have some smokes available. Pay attention to Adrian's and Hume's smokes, because what you will see is something I don't know if we've ever really seen in Siege before, because all of these smokes would pop off and cover all the rotations that they have. I'll pause here, draw a line, because Secret have effectively cut the map in 2. They have the cover from the hatch, so that none of the players from G2 can retake into the pillar, and none of them can retake here. You can even see Alamo in a second. He's going to look like a lost chicken running into the wall. We keep playing this clip. First of all, there's going to be a missed C4 on him for Adrian, who's planting, and all of this just looks at, they even managed to pick apart a round that they shouldn't have any business winning. It's 3 versus 4. You shouldn't be winning those in attacks, especially with low time left and just no real map control. This is what we love about Secret. They played really well. They even get a Finka pickup on Adrian that's just planted and been injured. Just overall, amazing play, incredible adaptability to the round, and they should be really happy with how they've been playing this stage.
Thank you very much, Fabian. And that is a depth of execution, beautiful teamwork and timing and all. But on to our map ban for this best of 1, as Wolves will be going to Skyscraper. And that is big surprise in many ways, but one that I'm really looking forward to as Secret ban out club to take us there map-wise, numbers-wise. Fresh, what does it look like?
It's the perfect battleground, Milosh. It's the perfect battleground. When you want 2 teams going for second place, you want them both to be on a map that they're comfortable on. Well, Skyscraper, a map that both of these teams absolutely love. Second preference for both maps. Both teams played BDS. Wolves and Secret both lost to BDS. Secret did push them to overtime, but it will be Wolves that are starting out on the defense.
Yes, starting the defense side is the key here. Like, genuinely, it's the key, because we know how defender-favored this map can be, and it doesn't matter how good you are at attacking, because one small mistake where you lose one player, it just can turn the entire bomb sites around, and just defenders won't stand a chance even losing. Like, not stand a chance losing. That sounds silly, right? But it's just how the map is laid out.
So from both of our illustrations, I gather we have 2 teams that are very equal. They're playing for high stakes in second place for potentially a direct spot into the major. They are playing on a map that's highly tactical that both are very comfortable on. Yep. I am absolutely looking forward to the execution and how every single site is going to go down in here. And speaking of our matchup, it is pretty much ready. Let's pull up our casters and say hello one more time for today. It's XR Troika and Demo. Lads, are we ready for this one? I'm very excited for it because tactically speaking, this looks like an absolute banger in the making.
Demo wouldn't wave.
Yeah.
I feel like we've saved one of the best. We had a great game at the top of the day. We've just seen a great game Demo, give them a wave. They're not going to stop. We've just seen a great game between BDS and Fnatic, and now we get to round out the day with another banger. And it's a banger that's got a lot of meaning behind it, right? We're fighting for second place here, Milosh.
Demo, you're a man of not many words, but a lot to say in what you do say here. Who do you see winning this matchup strategically? You're a man of strategy as well.
I mean, obviously they've talked about Wolves having the defense, but I don't know, Secret played against BDS and they had to go on the attack first, and Secret were able to deal with it quite well. So Secret have done it before. Why can't they do it again?
Sound. Very much. Anyways, Fabian Fresh, thank you very much for our desk. We are ready to go. Demo, Ollie, please enjoy this because we sure will be.
Thank you very much, Milosh. Our final game of the night here, Demo. This is how we round out stage one here in EU League. We have got two Titans going up against one another tonight. We've got Secret versus Wolves. With the siege that we've seen so far inside of stage one, I'm not sure there's a better way of rounding out our final play day.
Yeah, all this does is really determine who is going to be in second place and who is going to be in fourth place. ITB are going to be sandwiched in the middle between them. No matter what, they will finish in that third spot. So it's just who will finish second, who will finish fourth. So essentially, who's going to get that bye in the first round of playoffs, and then who has to play Fnatic. You know, we already know the table's already locked up for us.
It absolutely is. So without any further ado, we are going to get ourselves straight into the game. Team Secret versus Wolves. Skyscraper is the map. A Maverick and a Book banned out. The Book feels a little bit targeted there, Demo.
Oh, it's one that you don't see all too often, and it is going to be for a certain reason that Secret have went for that. So maybe they've seen something the way that Wolves like to use and abuse that Buck, and they don't want to give them that luxury. I mean, we've seen it before. The closest thing I can remember is teams like banning Sledge against Ranchero. You know, that's one that I remember, you know, very familiar in the back of my head. That's something that a lot of teams would do. So, you know, they went for the Buck ban. I mean, Buck is good as well on Skyscraper because you can go below and you can open up a majority of bomb sites. You know, you think about the office. How many times do you see a Buck go downstairs into that kind of main lobby bit of the house side of the map and just rip open anyone who could be inside of office, anyone who could be, you know, inside of, even towards like the single window. You know, players could be lurking in around there with the Izami barrier. So, yeah, I think it's a good ban on that standpoint.
I just had a quick flick to see who most plays Buck, and it is P4. I thought it might be, and I was trying to figure out anything that we could glean from that. I'd have to cast my mind back to a previous Skyscraper Wolves game. It is a very deliberate ban coming out there from Secret. We've already mentioned they are going to be starting out on the tougher side of things here. Starting off on the attack. It isn't ever the easiest map to attack into, but they've got a reasonable track record. If we cast our mind back just a couple of weeks, we will remember the Secret versus BDS game. That was played out on Skyscraper. It's one that you and I covered, Demo. It was 8-7 to BDS in the end. Secret, they were good for a couple of attacks on this map, so I'm expecting no less here tonight, especially given that both of these two teams are fighting for that second place.
You'd expect them to fight tooth and nail. You're going to give yourself as many chances as you can with going to the major. If you finish top 2, you get 2 chances at the bare minimum to see if you can qualify into, of course, you know, not even just phase 1 of the major, but straight into phase 2 as well. That's another thing. If you qualify being 3 teams inside of Europe, it's the 4th team that come in through the open qualifiers that will be put into the phase 1 section of the major. So yeah, a lot to play for here with just finishing in top 2 and then being able to get into that phase 2 portion of the major. Not a good start for Secret though. Losing out the Ying. Big operator that you would like to have for these executes. You're gonna have to try and make do without having Savage alive. And you know, I think for Secret, it would be a massive shame, you know, for this side to almost capitulate at the, you know, the final hurdle, because we said they've played stellar Siege. It's probably the best Siege we've ever seen this side play. And to see them, you know, fall into 4th and even ITB best them, it'd be a big shock.
It would. It's early days, though. Round 1, of course. A lot of siege yet to be played here, but Secret do look a little bit slow here on this approach. They have opted to bring the Deimos. Now, we saw Bibu get tracked on Deimos very early on, but nothing really came of it. Doom, just seeing if he can try and bait out on Miracle at the moment. Miracle was just tapping that Fenrir gadget, activating it, but P4 is standing firm. Shinka is going to be inside of Geisha, taking a little bit of damage. Doom knows that his army is going to be playing there, and of course he could use the gadget to try and figure that out, to try and force a little bit of movement, but of course you give your own position away then as well. 2 impacts getting sent out there. It's going to eat up 1 exothermic, and Miracle is going to place his second, knowing now that it is going to be fairly safe. But don't forget, for the bomb site that this is, it's a very long and arduous process, given that there's 35 seconds left and they're still in this position. But Adrian, he's going to be getting the bomb down now under that cover, but it has to come off. No, P4 there with the swing. The pressure was mounting far too much there, and Wolves, they were happy to hold on.
Look, even if he gets that diffuser down, I don't think they win that round. There's just too many players for Wolves who can go into that retake. So yeah, no surprises there to see them win that round for Wolves. And I mean, here's the thing. You lose that opening pick, it's just going to be so difficult. You lose the Ying, it's going to be even more difficult. Like Fabian mentioned, just the smallest little mistake will just grind your attack to a halt on Skyscraper, because it is defender-sided. You know, this is a map where we see the 5-1s, even the odd 6-0. It can happen to the best of teams just because the way this map it is laid out and designed. You need every man possible on the attack, and you know, defense, you don't have to do a lot. You just have to play your utility operators like your Zamis, like your Miras, which just makes things so difficult with clearing across the map. Yeah, just this is the thing. Secret, you're on the attack first. You know, they went to this map. You know, they had the choice. They went here, and you have to reap what you sow.
Well, they know what they were getting themselves into. I don't think that anyone is going to sit here and make excuses for them. They've got themselves into this position, and they believe, of course, they can get themselves out of it again. Going to be attacking onto the other side now. We're going office and exhibition. We do have half of the wall left soft here. That's a popular way of deterring teams from breaching that wall. Usually requires some soft destruction to blow out half of that wall, and we can see that that's something the Secret have in spades. They, of course, have the Zephyr, and they have the Ash, so the mirror window rendered useless right from the get-go as well.
Secret starting to open up. It's a little power position that Wolves want to play in. There goes the main breach, of course, towards Geisha, and also we'll use the exothermic onto the castle barricade in towards Terrace, so Deadshot has to be careful. That window open to him. Does mean that Bibu can't really get back across, though. That's the only issue, but I think Bibu, just with the position he's playing, I think he's happy enough to give his life there, Ollie. He's going to be bandit tricking that single wall, you know, tucked into a position where you wouldn't really expect him to get many gunfights, and oh dear, Grubby gets caught out. Deadshot timing on his side. Picks up that kill, and oh no! Savage again just gives themselves up for absolutely nothing, and Wolves are just getting pick after pick after pick.
There's really no spearhead leading the charge here. This is going to be a flawless round. I'm almost certain of it. Doom down at the bottom of house. They know where he is, and Mowgli happy to wander on down and pick him up as well and add him to the collection. Couple of kills for P4, a couple of kills for Mowgli there. Wolves, comfortable is the word I would use, Demo. They look happy, they're having a good time. Nothing really getting in their way at the moment, and Secret, they've just sort of sat outside and let themselves get picked off one by one.
Yeah, just vibes right now from Wolves, aren't they? They're just doing their job, they're getting picked here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, they've been pretty happy so far. But do you not remember this happened during the BDS game for Secret, where BDS were just pummeling them, and we were thinking, oh, well, it's a quick game. But then all of a sudden they turned it on during the, I think it was, they went 4-0 down and then they pulled it back to 4-2.
And don't forget, it's Skyscraper.
I don't want to count Secret out. There's no way I don't
you can't
want to.
count them out. You can't count them out. It's Skyscraper. We are expecting to see defenders win rounds. We're also expecting to see attackers win 1 or 2 of those attacking rounds. If they're a good attacking team, they'll win 3 or 4 or whatever. You know, you're expecting the expected value here of 2 very well-matched teams fighting for that second place spot is that we're going to see attackers win 1 or 2 rounds. That's what we come into this expecting. Now, the things that matter is the fashion in which the defenders win the other rounds. If they're absolutely stomping you and your head starts to dip, then it becomes a little bit of a problem. But at the moment, there's no real cause for concern on the side of Secret. They just need to make sure that they're switched on when they get those opportunities. And attacking now down into Barbecue and Kitchen is one of those opportunities. They're going to bring the Monty. They're going to try and get something going here. Savage, he hasn't had much success with a gun in his hand. I mean, to be honest, no one on the side of Secret has at the moment. But maybe the Monty is going to be the play.
Hopefully, because they need some form of play, because they didn't have it during the last round. There was no playbook involved whatsoever. So Savage, he got picked off, you know, both times in the previous rounds without really doing anything in the round. He did nothing. So hopefully he can have more of an influence using that Monty. However, already a bit of an issue up against the Castle Barricade. Not an easy thing for a Monty to eliminate. He will have to sit there and just punch away at it. So it will take him a bit of time. And time is, of course, the valuable thing right now for Wolves. We know that, but right now for Secret, look at the way they're kind of setting up. Adrian now behind Savage, opens up the Castle Barricade. Doom on the other side, maybe looking for a quick backstab. And maybe they're going to just ignore this top floor and just try and walk straight into the site. Looks as though that might be what they're doing. They did this previously whenever we seen them here on Skyscraper last time. It worked against BDS. Let's see if it worked against Wolves.
Great pick there for June. Picks himself up too. That's surely the trigger that Secret need right now. Monty has actually changed tack. Instead of going for downstairs, they're saying we can clear the roam now. We've got man advantage here. And Bibu is going to start to feel pretty lonely here inside. Geisha goes for the jump out, but he too will fall. June, 3 kills on the round now. Secret should just be able to walk this one in, but do they know about P4 out on the flank? Gets a glimpse of the Monty, hits the reload because he knows the action is imminent. Monty now going to be able to call that location out, and he will fall as well. Savage even getting involved himself. Chinka, you got 5 kills to find, my friend. Otherwise, it's going to be a flawless here for Secret. We'll get the first over onto Miracle. Usually the Thermite would have the defuse, but in this instance, of course, it is the Monty. And Savage, he has got that and nailed it to the floor. Chinka, no one likes a post-plan 1v4. You really don't like it when you're going up against a Monty, especially a new age Monty that is just going to charge you down. Savage, 2 kills on the round. He is made up for those previous couple. And Secret get themselves on the board.
Yeah, fantastic work from Savage on the Monty, really dictating the pace and telling his team where to go, what to do, where he wants to go. And obviously as the Monty, that's what you want to try and build your attack around. But I'll start with Jim. All of that started with Jim. How many times have I mentioned about this guy? He's just Jim. You know, that's his play style. He's like a gray cloud on a sunny day. Just comes and ruins the fun. And Wolves, I said they're having a great time, and then he comes, the backstab, 2 kills, opens up for his team. So that's the effect that guy has. Look at this, great double kill, great situational awareness. Knows exactly where to look for the second kill as well. Good reactions. And then from there, you know, all that you called it out, they could have easily just walked in to go for the plant, but knowing they have that man advantage, they get the call. We're going to go for kills.
And it's the right play, because the last thing you want to do is lose the diffuser in the middle of site, be all split up. You're better off taking that moment, consolidate, get together as a team, and just play around the Monty. You got a human drone. That's exactly what they did. Good round there from Secret.
Attacker's objective is to defuse.
They are the rounds that you cannot afford to drop on Skyscraper. See how they now choose to build off that. They did manage to get good control of top black previously when we saw this site in round number 1. They also managed to get the wall open and look to get a plant down. But couple more things go a little bit differently and we start seeing some gunfights won elsewhere, and it doesn't become the most impossible task to get around here either. Miracle just going to pre-place an exothermic onto the geisha wall. They do have Bibu to worry about below. The Solace snuck through and is able to gather a bit of info.
Goes at top floor attack now for Secret and see how they can sweep across and clear away the Wolves' fortifications, as I know they did struggle with it last time quite a bit. And let's see if they can maybe try and keep that Ying alive for longer. It's no longer Savage on that operator, so it will be Adrian. If Savage got picked off, he was dead by this time, last time they attacked here. So hopefully you can keep that Ying alive and can create a lot of chaos. And so Bibu is certainly feeling the pressure of that operator, as he does get flashed there. But as I say that, down goes the Ying. They just can't keep him alive no matter who plays it. Savages went in with a very bold play, loses a diffuser in the middle of Geisha. Joom trying his best to try and walk up those staircases, eliminates Bibu. But again, right now for Secret, they're not in the best of position because they just don't have the info on Wolves. Wolves have all the control. Miracle wandering aimlessly. That diffuser is still not picked up, and Joom has a 1v3 to deal with.
Tough round there. I think that Wolves have done a really good job of stabilizing. Joom going to pick himself up one before he departs. P4 with the finishing blow. You know, you'd have thought that Adrian would be having a field day there. He's off the thermite for a change. He's onto the Ying. He's been upgraded. Seems to be a bit of a Ying curse floating around on Secret tonight. Anyone that plays that up is just getting beamed straight out. Wolves do a good job of stabilizing as well after round number 3, and we see a tactical timeout from Secret. I think it's a good time, Demo. They know that they need to get another couple of rounds here on the attack. They have 30 seconds or so to figure out what's going wrong and listen to Twister's wise words.
Yeah, it's all about how you're kind of setting up the rounds early. I think for Secret, that's kind of where they're stumbling. You know, it certainly feels as though they're pulling the trigger a little bit too quick, just losing out those big utility operators. You know, Ying is great if you don't want to go quick. You know, just toss the Candelas in. It's going to give you that just a little bit of chaos where you can try and go for those quick plays and get that plant down even in the 5v5s. But if you just keep losing those special operators, you're never going to be able to break through, you know, that defense. For Skyscraper, you know, defense in Skyscraper mentioned before, it is so strong for the defenders. So you need those operators that generally do get banned out. You know, Ying, if you look at the ban rate of Ying throughout this season, you know, she is the top attacker that has been banned. You know, we're sitting at a 25 ban rate for Ying in all the matches. So she's right up there with the best of them. And if you lose that operator just time and time again, you're not going to be able to win against the defense. You need those power operators alive.
I'm getting a little bit concerned because I'm seeing some things that just have a hint of pocket strat in them. We have Joom on Namaru. We have a Glass. We have a Capital coming. We don't have any hard breach. Secret. They're cooking. Yeah, they've got secondary. They're no primary, but they're cooking something here.
Oh, just the 2 from Miracle, and that's it. But yeah, like you said, a lot of utility. Really, Amaru, the only ways you would use her is either in through the bomb black window or up the hatches. That would be the other thing that you could use the Amaru for. But even at that, it's so risky to do. He has got the Gara hook, of course, with the shotgun combination. He did have his hook out there just for a minute, but he hasn't used it since. So Bibu, bandit tricks one of the walls, and Adrian will use the ass charges to also clear away the mirror window alongside opening up that wall. So they do have a way into the bomb site, but as we know, it's going to be a lot of pressure from Wolves applied to that position.
Keep it active.
I don't know how they get through Bibu though, with no hard breach and no real way of getting through that single wall. Going in towards Drum is going to be a very difficult proposition for them.
They've not given themselves a lot of tools to get a job done here. We saw previously they just got picked off out on the balconies, and you kind of get the feeling that's where this is going, unless they really make something happen here. Mowgli is going to be playing deep inside of Exhibition. He's on the Warden, so he's not going to be too worried about a bit of smoke or any flashes coming through. He's going to be able to navigate himself through that. Doom getting ready to hop himself up through the hatch. We've got Miracle and Savage both in position as well. Mowgli might get caught out here. Adrian just keeping himself alive. And he's now in a bit of a sticky situation. Not in a position really to use the glasses. Has to move through and transition, but no one's hopping in. Instead, it's the Glaz that stood outside of Sword's window, and Adrian takes down P4.
Doom not moving just yet. I think they're still cautious that someone could be still in behind the bar, and no, there we go. They've eliminated Mowgli. That was the player they worried about. Surely this is where Jum will full send it with the diffuser. In goes the smokes, in goes the flashes. Adrian through the smoke. Jum up he goes. Will try and stick the diffuser. Oh, brilliant from Secret.
At their
Brilliant
best.
Execution.
Secret at their best right there. We said they were cooking something, and it turned out to be a Michelin meal demo. What a performance. We had everybody working in perfect harmony right there. They knew what they were going to do, and most importantly, they didn't jump the gun. We had Doom showing great patience downstairs. He's got a really difficult task there because he's just got to be ready to go at the right moment, send himself up through the hatch, and there's not a lot he can do for his team whilst they're working on that top floor. We saw a brilliant combination. Miracle and Grubby out there, they were getting the job done. We had Adrian on the breach, just applying the right amount of pressure to Wolves there, so as Mowgli couldn't just have entire free reign of the site. That's what we've seen Secret do exceptionally well this stage, bringing out problems, bringing out those solutions to the problems. Nice little pocket plays that really assist them when they need it. They've won now in what is considered a primary site. They were successful last time inside a barbecue. There's a good chance they go 3-3 here.
Very good chance. Honestly, I thought Wolves, whenever they knew they had the Glaz, I would have thought, hey, there must be something up. They're bringing in the Glaz. You know, that's not a normal operator the Secret will just bring. They bring it for a reason, and they usually bring that if they're trying something a little bit creative, and certainly a little bit something that we might not be ready for. So we have to be ready for almost everything and be ready for those quick opportunities. And even, you know, Bibi should have realized there's nobody knocking on his door, nobody over towards his side of the map.
Yeah.
You know, I thought Secret made it very obvious from my perspective, but Wolves just didn't pick up on it.
I guess Wolves thought they were just stalling out or trying to find a problem, maybe thinking they didn't have the right tools for the job, but whatever it was, it has worked really well. Bibu, fortunate that the two-brow is in play and P4 is going to be able to deny that wall for a time, but Bibu isn't going to have time to get the bandit battery back on. Deadshot is going to continue the success that Wolves have seen in that opening pick and in position to take Grubby down. And of course, leaves a few things that are going to go unchecked, most notably the universal that Lion has got. Oh, great backstab from Mowgli as well. Usually it's June being slippy, but in this instance, it was Mowgli. Adrian gets himself out of there, deals about half damage onto Mowgli, but isn't able to land the finishing blow.
Yeah, unfortunate there. You can see that June was just hoping to walk into sight, take that challenge against Shinka. But Mowgli not having any of it here today. And Secret, look as though they're on a standstill. Certainly teeing up to be a 4-2 half here for Wolves, which again isn't the end of the world for Secret. We've seen them battle back before, and well, I mean, if you look at Wolves' history on the attack this season, there is certainly a good case that, you know, Secret can still win this game in regular time if Wolves just aren't up to snuff on their attacks on Skyscraper. Miracle yet to get a kill. Can this speed around to at least get himself on the board? Adrian by himself, and so is Savage. All three players from Secret, all away from each other, so no real option for refrag. Adrian maybe looking to go downstairs and try and revive Savage, which I'm shocked that Savage is even in position to get revived. Nobody from Wolves is wanting to pounce on that opportunity. Just want to shut up shop and hold it down. Don't give Secret an inch into this round.
Wolves showing really good discipline right now. It'd be so easy to try and flood and overwhelm these players, but you don't want to give anybody a 1 versus 1. Bibu, even now being cautious, taking the engagement onto Miracle. Adrian is going to find one onto P4. He's in the heart of the bomb site here, but what can he do? There's still Vert to worry about. Throws a couple of smokes, maybe looks to try and get a plant down, but with Deadshot shooting Savage and only 8 seconds left, it's not going to be easy. Mowgli, he drops the hatch and pretty much lands on Adrian's head. Bit of a disaster round there from Secret, especially given the coordination that they showed in round number 5. To see round number 6 play out in that fashion, almost a little bit disappointing, but Wolves there applying very good pressure and keeping good hold of that top floor.
Good job from Wolves, not wanting to overextend themselves, just sit back and let Secret beat themselves. Now we see the side switch, and things you would hope will get a little bit easier for Secret and a little bit harder for Wolves. One thing you have to be mindful of course, is Wolves still have, strong operators like your Ying still up that they could use and abuse. But it's, still doable for both sides. I think this next round will give us a good indicator onto all these. See how Wolves are setting up for their attacks and what their style is and what their plan is going up against Secret. Certainly Secret have been a team where they have really went a lot for the kind of backstabs on Skyscraper. We've seen them really abuse Shaiko on this map whenever they know that Shaiko only uses air jabs for himself and won't really use it for flank protection.
That was quality.
And stuff like that, Secret will study you in depth and see your weaknesses and abuse that.
Yeah. You've got some really slippy players on Secret. That's something that you've got to give a lot of credit to. And if your flanks are lacking, they will find the gaps. So I expect to see a little bit of that when we get on into things. Mowgli so far having a cracking game, 7-3.
Oh, we've got Shaiko impersonator.
6-2. I mean, Bibu is Shaiko cosplay right now. 3 air jabs out on Black Balcony and flanks galore. Please not. I mean, we saw it, a carbon copy of it. When BDS attacked into this map against Secret, we don't want to be seeing it again. But of course, there's still drones and there's still things of that nature to get the flanks done as well. Savage is gonna have plenty of info up on his heads-up display. He can call out that. He knows that someone's going to be there. Maybe even go for the run out if he sees Bibu hop back on his drone.
All quiet as it stands. Neither team digging their claws into each other. Say that though, as Mowgli opens up with the first pick. P4 also takes a lot of damage, and Mowgli tries to run into the heart of the site. But Miracle finally gets his kill, and he's on the board. But Deadshot is there with the refrag, and back again. It goes back and forth. Grubby onto Deadshot. Will there be any more kills in the next coming seconds? It looks to be a little bit more of a quiet pace now, as Bibu not wanting to move until P4 and co are ready. Shinka has the diffuser in hand, but right now for Wolves, they're not in a good position to get that diffuser planted. Adrian now will walk out of Geisha alongside Jum. They're both working in tandem with each other. P4 doesn't know which way to look, and neither does Jum. He gets shot in the back, will drop the hatch, leaves Grubby all by himself upstairs. He's inside of Drum. Baku managed to help him out. Still a minute to go. Plenty of time for Wolves.
Not a great spot, really, considering Secret had a reasonable moment of an advantage there. Grubby just on the other side of the wall, and Bibu trying to push himself down long here. Smoke is going to provide a good bit of cover. But P4's been allowed to get into the site here, and he's not careful. They're going to start to get this plan down, but Grubby finds himself one. P4, he might have the diffuser, but he knows better than to just try and lay the plant down and hope for the best. Rotates himself back into Geisha. It's tense stuff, this. Jum, he's managed to rotate to the top of these black stairs and is going to be in position to pounce almost certainly. This crossfire is getting better and better the further P4 moves down the corridor. Jum dips himself out, keeps himself alive. You can plant if you like, but Grubby, he's going to see that you don't. Well played then from Grubby. He got left in a bit of hot water, but navigated it very well indeed.
Wow. I mean, what do you say? It's one of them where it could have went either which way. Fine margins that you had. Look, you look at Wolves, I would say that maybe they could have worked a little bit better there as they were trying to push in. Mowgli just going into the bomb site by himself. What's that all about? Maybe wait for his team to be in position. P4 were struggling to kind of get control of that Geisha. He took a lot of HP for it. But maybe Mowgli got a kill and he thought, I'll just play. He gets a little bit too carried away, kind of plays off that energy of himself, and yeah, gets punished for it. But Look, subtle doom and gloom for Wolves, still leading at the moment. That's a tough bomb site. You know, generally you'd be looking at your kitchen barbecues. That's the bomb sites that you would like to win. But even Office, you know, Secret, they flawless this bomb site earlier, so why can't Wolves?
No reason at all.
10 seconds
Wolves
to
just
go.
finding their feet on the attacks here. It maybe takes, at least what it took last round, and it maybe takes this round as well. Well,
Attackers
this is the game that we were expecting between these two. No punches held at all. Savage thinks about a bit of early aggression. If anything, it just gives Wolves something else to check on their route into the building. Take a look at the lineup. Wolves aren't leaving anything to chance here. They've got the Thatcher, they've got double hard breach. They've got everything they need to try and get these walls open. And they're in position to trick though, so Shinka will just need a bit more support there if he wants to open that VIP wall.
Wall's getting opened. Adrian having a tough time, getting concussed from below. And this may be where the buck ban is maybe a big thing for Secret. You know, it doesn't allow Wolves to get in downstairs towards that lobby and start ripping up the flooring beneath them. So they've had to, I suppose, probably opt for bringing in the Sophia instead to do that kind of job, to rip open the bandit triggers if they do try their hand. This is risky though from Doom. Will be primed and ready to swing onto the window, but Deadshot, as we can see, is going to be prone, and means Doom can't see him, and that wall looks to be getting opened up, and it will successfully. Miracle cannot get that bandit trick off. So Wolves, a good start for them.
We said they brought all the tools that they needed and they showed it just exactly there. Grubby trying to open up a bit of a line of sight there and deals with the drone on the way. P4. He can choose to go through the castle barricade. He's got a breach in charge. He can choose to open up the wall. He's got the ability to do that as well. We're actually going to go for a hella aggressive run out here. Grubby, he takes the bull by the horns. He keeps himself alive, but at what cost? Eventually shut down there by Mowgli. Miracle, he picks up 2. Shinka able to trade him on out. 3 versus 2 now. But look at the position that Mowgli's got himself in. Shinka, he's going to be on the breach. Call potentially to come out. Worried about the Maestro Evil Eye camera as well.
Drone activated.
Look to try and gather a bit more information here as he has 2 drones in pocket and he's able to throw out a couple there just to see if there's anything that his team can give him. Of course, the call there is going to stop anyone from being on that Maestro camera, but they should know where he's going. Shinka now going to try and get this plan down. June from below. He's got the info. Is he able to land the shots? No, he's not. Savage. He's taking Shinka down, but the plant has already been confirmed. Mowgli, well, like he was in the zone there for a second, but couldn't land onto Savage. Plenty of time to disable that planted diffuser. We're going to level up 4 rounds apiece.
Bomb diffuser disabled.
Jim's happy.
I can never make mine look that neat.
And the thing is, his facial expression on his camera would not tell you he's happy, but he'll go and make the smiley face in the game. Does that look like a happy man to you?
I mean, June is a man of few emotions, I think.
Yeah, yeah. He is like he's like the counterpart to Oscar. That's what he's like.
Oscar was quite sort of expressive today.
I mean, it's weird.
I think it was maybe because of the game, you know, because
it might not be
played well. And...
He could have been abducted. He could have been.
I thought you were going to say adopted then.
Adopted.
Some sort of aliens come in, morphed into, maybe it's an alien morph situation.
Skinwalker.
That sounds creepy.
I always hate that term. Skinwalker just doesn't.
It sounds horrible.
Natural. No. Not good. Someone walking in skin. Ugh.
I mean, it's what we do every day when we walk, right?
No, stop it.
Sounds pretty normal.
Stop it. Stop it.
4 rounds apiece here as we enter round number 9.
10 seconds to
I'm glad that this game's living up to expectation. The pressure
5 seconds left.
is really on Wolves now because Secret were able to pick up a round over in the office side.
Moving out to locate a bomb.
Now it's by no means the end of, Wolves' attacking portion yet. The only way we switch it around now is we get to an overtime, but Wolves have not been successful there yet. Secret was successful on their second attempt attacking into office and exhibition, and they were also successful downstairs on their first attempt attacking kitchen barbecue. So Wolves need to pick up a round somewhere on the attack here if they want to try and stay in this thing. And this is a really good opportunity for them to do it. They aren't bringing anything too fancy. It's a very standard lineup. You're not looking at anything and thinking that it's got a very specific purpose. Obviously, you've got the Nomad for the flanks. You've got the Capital for that utility. You've got the soft breach in the Ash. You've got the hard breach in the Ace. And you've got the Twitch, mainly because Twitch is pretty good. And of course, you've got the ability to get rid of those shock drones as well. So, not like previous where we'd see an Amaru or a Glaz and get excited over this or that. Wolves are just going for something plain and simple here. They want to take control of that top floor and then execute onto the site.
That's the best way to do it, is get control of Geisha. You have the hatch. And obviously you have the hatch, you can try and plant in towards kitchen. Best way to go for it, but as we know, defenders will be fighting tooth and nail to stay on top and see how long they can stay upstairs into said Geisha. Wolves taking their time at the moment. Got the wall open. Getting the Twitch in as well to see if maybe he can take down some utility, but there's not a whole lot. A couple of goo mines, but that's really it. And that bullet press was the Fenris as well. Probably try and get the Fenris in. Depends if they're activated or not, of course. Bibby. And he goes. There's the beeper. Gives himself away. Now they know that somebody's going to be knocking on that doorway. Well, their goo mine there for safety, but Bibby surely heard that and can destroy that with ease. Right now for Wolves, they're just looking for a pick, but Secret are just giving them, they're not giving them it.
What is Mowgli doing?
Look, all he's trying to do is get that pick to open up the site. But whenever Secret already know that's always what Mowgli's going to try and do. Mowgli's always going to try and be the star of the show for Wolves. If you just sit passive, play your crossfires, bring the traps in, bring the information, you neutralize Mowgli. And we know if you can shut down Mowgli, you shut down a lot of what Wolves want to do in the game.
You really do. And you can see the stall out that's come off the back of that now as well. P4 is going to be throwing in some fire just into Geisha, but Miracle able to keep himself pretty safe, tucked out of the way of that. BB, patience will pay off. Savage eventually gives himself up there. BB stayed there for the whole damn round, but for what? 1 kill? Not really worth it. Joom, 2 kills on the round. Adrian to close things out. Secret, they know they don't have to move the feet. They know they just have to sit back in those power positions and let the game come to them.
My goodness. Just Secret. They've got the script for Wolves and the ideas that Wolves want to try and go for, and they are countering them to a T. Wolves not in a great shape right now, as that lead that they had has got away from them. It has slipped out of their hands. And they will take the time out and see what they can do differently to go up against Secret. Maybe they might try to go for the pocket plays that worked well for Secret, just to cheese around. I mean, that's one thing. A lot of the times where we see Secret on, I would say, the less favored side, they have a lot of creative ways just to cheese a round. Just one single round. They'll never do the strat again, but as long as they can get them that round to set them up in that game to win that game. And at the end of the day, they've done it quite a few times, I would say, this stage. But they have reaped the rewards for it because they are on the cusp. If they win this game, they will be second place. And for them, getting top 2, it's paid off. It's really paid off for them.
Well, Secret 5-4 right now, as you say. They've a great turnaround since getting on the defense. Wolves are going to start to worry a little bit. This is where the pressure really starts to mount. Have Secret done the hard work in the first part of the game by getting 2 attacking rounds? And have Wolves now got the hard job to do in the later half of the game by winning a couple of attacking rounds? It really does come down to that.
10 seconds to insertion.
To be inside tea and karaoke.
5 seconds left before insertion.
I don't think that Secret are going to have too much to worry about over here. A lot depends on, of course, the way that those impact operators are used. You look toward the Ying, you look toward the Bees. Only secondary hard breach as well being brought here by Wolves. That could make things a little bit more complicated, especially if you go for a full across clear. do have things like mute jammers to consider, but I'm sure that they will work their way around that.
Repulsion device planted.
Wolves are going to be bringing in the heavy lifters, bringing in the Ying and the Grim, see if they can just flood the site, and that honestly should be the idea. You know, this kind of split push theory where they're trying to have these backstabbers. I would just like to see Wolves just sweep from one side and just completely dump every last bit of utility that they have into Geisha, in towards Karaoke, in towards Top Black, and just try and focus and get that diffuser down. That should really be the premise, because we just haven't seen that enough, I don't think, of Wolves is prioritizing that diffuser and trying to get that down.
Yeah, it hasn't been a focus at all, has it, to get that plant down? Grubby is going to come head to head down here, just outside of reception. Doesn't want to take the challenge, though. He knows that he's got to get a bit more value out of himself than that. Savage, he's happy to land on top of Mowgli, though. P4. He's going to try and push through and pick up anything downstairs. Miracle seeing a bit of heat in Geisha. Dokkaebi call comes through. He's going to run toward that mute jammer. P4 trying to play aggressive here, but it's going to come to nothing. June there, happy to take him down and happy to stay in place as well. We can hear the Candelas going off, but what good's that, Bebo, if your team are falling on the ground floor?
Oh, Wolves just hasn't worked again. You know, Mowgli is really stagnated, hasn't he, Ollie, since those first couple of attack rounds? Seems to be the pass free, just hasn't really been there. And that's always the issue. If Mowgli just can't get going or he stalls out, then who else is going to be there to pick up the pieces? For a big majority, it has been Deadshot. I'd certainly feel this stage he's been the man to watch, where if Mowgli isn't there, Deadshot certainly has been. He's going to need to show up now as he's going to be up against these roamers downstairs. Jun will toss that C4 and does get killed by Shinka. Through the walls. It's taken down. At least that's one kill back. But still, 4 more players for Secret remain. 30 seconds to go, Ollie. This ain't looking good.
I was going to say, look at the time. You know, you might have been able to kill June downstairs, but look at what he's been able to do. He's just soaked up all of the round almost. And now you're executing with 15 seconds to go. Candela's going to get sent out. Bibu has the diffuser. He needs to start thinking about hopping himself in, though. Miracle, he's going to be in the hot seat here. Bibu able to find one. Guman going to slow him down. He might have enough time to press F00 on the clock. And he gets it down, but it means nothing. Adrian with 2. Secret, they continue here against Wolves.
Well, what do you say? Just Secret. They just know exactly what Wolves are going to do at all times. You know, Wolves have now tried that approach where they've went for, you know, the flash play. They've tried to bring in the Ying, they've tried to bring in the Grim, but it has not worked for them. They've already used their timeout. It just looks as though this team is just out of options. You know, it feels like that same Wolves that we seen all the way back, you know, really take your mind back to that first play day where they went up against ITB and they lost every attack that they had against ITB. They lost 6 attacks. And that's what it feels like. Exactly the same story for Wolves. They just cannot attack. That week 1 Wolves is back again.
Match and second place point here now for Secret. You're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves here. There were a couple of doubters moving into this. Maybe not doubters, maybe just people that were saying, you know, why have they chosen Skyscraper and, you know, chose knowing they were going to be attacking first? But realistically, they were confident in their own ability to attack. We often say all you need is 1 or 2 rounds on the attack on Sky and the rest is done on the defense. And so far that has rung true here tonight. Wolves unable to find any success on the attacking side. And they're now leaving themselves with a very fine margin to get the job done.
Attackers have recovered their...
Oh, great run out there. Savage match point run out onto Bibu. Even manages to get himself out of trouble from Deadshot as well. Mowgli will be there to trade it though.
Salt in the wounds, lemon in the wounds. Honestly, it's just everything that Secret can do to inflict even more damage to this very weakened Wolves team right now. They're doing so. I mean, great work being able to eliminate the Sophia, which, hey, look, if you're the bandit, that's one of the issues that you would have to go up against if you're trying to bandit trick that single wall towards VIP. So with that being taken down, you know, the bandit is going to be pretty strong now in this scenario. So Wolves are going to have to do it with probably a few walls being left reinforced up. Deadshot does have the Deimos in hand, but what's he going to be able to do from below? Maybe look for a wall bang or a floor bang, should I say, if he can get somebody caught in the scanner. I'm surprised he isn't maybe going to go for Savage. You know, that would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it? You know, try and find this roamer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Savage, he knows that he's getting pinned a little bit here. We're going to start to see a bit of a site execute come through. At least we're going to see the Candela zoom through. P4 gets himself through the hatch. A miracle! He's caught unaware. P4 is going to start to get that plant down. Grubby picks up one dead shot from below. Adrian not in position to deny that. No C4 in hand and a plant confirmed. Secret zone attack has worked against them here. It's a similar scenario with the Amaru up through the hatch. And Grubby now tracked by Deimos. Adrian, he's going to get down there from Sword's window and finished off. And, well, it was about putting a head on that chicken, and it was P4 from below with the vert that was able to do just exactly that. Wolves, he stopped Secret from converting.
I mean, you look at, you know, what Secret did. You know, they were able to kind of use the Glads to create the chaos and allow that cover for that Amaru coming in. For Wolves, they were able to excel with the Ying. You know, Ying created the same thing where it's just there as a distraction to get that Amaru up the hatch. You know, this time though, I look at Secret's Amaru, the Doom did very little apart from, you know, get the diffuser down, but, you know, that Amaru was able to get kills as well. So Wolves certainly, I think, didn't set up as, I would say, as clean as what Secret did, but it's still the same outcome. They still get that round win.
It was a bit scrappier, wasn't it? I think something that impresses me when we see Secret sort of pulling those plays off is it's usually very clean. Wolves there, it was a little bit more by the seat of the pants. You know, there was a guy stood pretty much on the hatch inside of office, for goodness sake. So you're always going to have a little bit of a jump scare when you get up there if you don't know that that's going to be waiting for you. But they got the job done nonetheless. They've picked up one round on the attack here. Technical pause. It always come at a bad time. I mean, there's no good time for a technical pause, but at this point in this fixture, not a good time at all. So we do apologize for that. We will be working to get everybody back inside of the lobby. For the time being, we are left with what we've got, and that is currently player cams, sometimes out of focus, sometimes in focus, sometimes a bit dark. You know, nothing special in the player cams here aside from the players themselves. Obviously the players are all special in their own way, but we don't have an extravagant monitor arm or sort of film set background like we've seen previously tonight. Demo
film set. Yeah. Certainly a little bit more tame. A lot of posters there from Chinka as well. But this is, you know, this is scary. You know, this is a scary round going into it. Determines the OT, of course. And for Secret, you know, a little bit of a wobble there almost, you know, to see them lose around to their own strat, more or less.
Yeah.
A little bit surprising. They're probably thinking, how did we fall for that? You know? But whenever the wool gets pulled under your eyes, it happens to the best of you. It's just that waiting game. For Wolves, it's just trying to get back into, you know, that glory of what Wolves are in their own region. You know, as a European side, they've been the most consistent, I think, for the past 2 years. You know, no one I think can contest that. That team's always in that mix. You know, being able, was it 7 or 8 international events in a row? You know, great prestige of a side. And whenever they came into this season, they started, you know, very poor. And honestly, the fact that we're even sitting in a position where Wolves still have a chance to get into that second place spot, absolutely incredible. You know,
yeah.
from where they were, you know, nobody would have called that. But
I would agree.
I mean, same could be said for Secret, a team which was just mediocre at best, was always down, you know, scrapping away, trying to, you know, stay out of the bottom 2 spots almost for a big period of time. To see them where they are now and push to the heights that they are, Yeah, both teams, just the stories that they have. You wouldn't have called this at the start of the season. You wouldn't have.
No, you really wouldn't. Can I interest you in some statistics, Demo?
Maybe.
I believe we've got some statistics. I believe we've got something that we can look over for the time being. Now, don't panic. This is usually used as a match summary graphic. However, we have not finished the match just yet. It is 6-5 in favor of Secret, but just to give everyone a bit of a refresher, we have got the scoreboard with all of the relevant information available here now. So Demo, it's almost like we're back on the desk as we were only a couple of years ago back in the Paris studio. But we can see that, I mean, there's a lot of players that are having good games. We've got Mowgli. He's always going to be a standout if Wolves are going toe-to-toe inside of a fixture. Currently 12-7, nearly double positive. He's had a couple of flaky moments, but on the whole, he has kept Wolves in this one. On the flip side, someone that we questioned almost at the start of the game, he went 0-2 in the first 2 rounds and then had an explosive round on the Monty. We've got Savage on that other side of the coin. Secret currently top of the pops, 3 entries as well, which of course is one of the more important stats that we like to track. Secret doing exceptionally well on the entry this evening.
Yeah, obviously you have to look at a player like Savage. You know, he's been the longest player you know, in that team. You know, he joined all the way back in what must have been 2022, I want to say, you know, around that time where he was almost like a rookie coming up. And, you know, just to kind of, I suppose, take your attention back all the way to 2022 and just, you know, the changes that you've seen with Secret, you know, some of the players that he was teaming with, you know, way back. I think it was in stage 2, I believe they picked him up for. You know, he was teaming with the likes of Saves, Keenan, Slevin, Kendrew. You know, Titan was the head coach. Secret's have seen a lot of changes, a big transformation, but he's the common factor. He's always been there. You know, he is almost now a senior player in this side. You know, people may look at him as, oh, he was a rookie, but nah, I think he's a senior leader in this team now. He really is. When you got like of Adrian, who's young gun, you know, Joom, Grubby as well, I would say are young guns as well. You know, he has to be that leader. He has to be that senior player.
Just to reiterate the stakes as well, we've been talking about how this is a we've got a replay from one of the last rounds we saw. Actually, this was the hop up through the hatch. We did see it played at stage, but we're back into the game just like that. Maybe we needed to see the replay to get ourselves back into the actual game. So this is going to be live. We are here, Team Secret 6, Wolves currently 5. Wolves fighting for this overtime right now. Now, if this game does go to an overtime, it doesn't matter. Mainly due to round difference and things like that. There's no way that either of these two teams can be caught out. Of course, they would be on the same points as Into the Breach. Into the Breach currently on 15 points, as both of these two teams are on 13. So an overtime win would give you 2 points, but the round differential, which is our first tiebreaker, is more favorable for both Wolves and Secret. So it wouldn't matter too much there either. So a true fight out here, and in the next 2.5 minutes or so, we will find out if we're going to an OT or not.
Bomb detected.
On the line, Secret start the season very well. Let's see if they can end it equally as well. They have the defense. Talked about before how strong this side is on the Skyscraper, of course, and whenever you're against a team like Wolves who just haven't been up to scratch with their attacks as of late, it's a good opportunity for Secret being able to win those 2 attacks on their attacking half. Set them up very nicely, of course. So, Wolves, what are they going to do? It seems to be a very tame lineup, you know, used to what we've been seeing mostly from them, but it is a bit of a worry. You know, the round that they had success on, it was a crazy lineup. You know, they eased the round.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same, Demo, that 2 of the rounds that we've seen won by the attackers, out of the 3 we've seen won in this game, have been through, you know, big impact operators being brought. So you bring a very samey lineup and you do worry a little bit. Opening pick onto Deadshot there. The dough could be gone. Obviously, the dough could be call, and the ability to lock players out of cameras is going to be lost here. Miracle dancing with fire inside of Geisha. He's got a couple of teammates near him, though. Isn't going to be too worried about getting traded here. That should almost be a guarantee with the proximity that Savage is to him. And of course, Savage trying to help him keep that wall in Geisha closed.
Oh dear, Mowgli's at it again. He's just trying to walk in by himself and be the hero. But it ends up, he's the villain. Ollie, that must be what, the third, fourth time we've seen him do that? And just nobody's there for the refrag. Nobody is there to help him out and give him a hand just because he's not waiting for his teammate to do so. So very unfortunate to see Wolves just toss it away now as Secret are in prime position. A minute left. Everybody alive for Secret. Very little map control as well for Wolves. They've got themselves into Geisha, and that's really it. They've taken about 10% of the map. You know, that's really all they have. Adrian's still got info with the Echo Cam. Will get shot though, but they see who the Thermite is. He'll be a betting man to say that, yeah, he's probably going to have the diffuser, so you know it's going to be a kitchen drop, and all Secret need to do is wait for that kitchen drop to come in, use their utility, use their denial. You have the Echo, you have the C4s. It's only going to be a matter of time.
Time, something that we are running out of here. 14 seconds on the clock. Shinka goes for the drop. Grubby takes him down. Second kill on the round. P4 is going to find himself one before he too is forced to make that drop. And with Ibu falling, that's the diffuser. And there's nothing left to find. Who better than Adrian to pick up that final kill? A rookie on this roster at the start of the stage, and he has proved himself alongside his teammates throughout stage one here of EUL. Secret, they can hold their heads high. They're going to walk away with second place.
Yeah, all credit to Secret. They have been extremely consistent throughout this stage. I've been very impressed with them. I think they've just came leaps and bounds from where they were, you know, last stage. Yeah. All credit to them. They've been a very exciting team, a team who probably have some of the best pocket plays in the league, bar none. I think that they've done it so many times. They're smart. Just they keep you on your toes. Just so exciting to watch. Really, really have enjoyed them this season.
They genuinely are an exciting team to watch, and I think part of it is the pocket plays. They're not afraid to try things, and they really go out there and they expose and they put themselves into that firing line with some of those plays that they do, and they're bold and brave, and they don't always work, but when they do, it's wonderful. Secret, you've been a pleasure to watch so far this stage, and hopefully we will get to watch you a little bit more come the Manchester Major. Demo, that's going to do it for us here tonight. We need to send it back over to the desk. They're going to wrap everything up and go through our final standings.
Thank you very much, Exer, Troika, and Demo for the cast. And yes, a beautiful day to watch Secret and the way that they're not afraid to try something once. Much like our analyst, Freshman. Gentlemen, what a game that we saw. It could have been flipped on its head on Skyscraper. We were expecting a banger. We set it all up with the strategies and with the players. And I think we got a good one out of our day.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought that game genuinely was excellent. Two high-quality teams. Now, it's Skyscraper defense, and we said the defense was absolutely so important. But the other thing that we did say, or especially what they said on the cast, I think it was Demo who alluded to it, was that Secret were comfortable attacking this map against BDS. And ultimately, what did it come down to in terms of winning this map? Attacks. Yeah. Secret were able to pull two of them off. Now, both teams actually struggled with full clear attacks across this map, as most teams do, because you've got so much map to clear, the defenders can rotate so fast. What was the key differentiating factor for me? Secret were able to pull off two direct attacks. One onto Barbecue Kitchen using the Monty, one onto the office using the Imaru and the Glass. If you can just pull a direct attack out of your bag, those little pocket plays, those set pieces, in this game, quite literally was the difference between second place in the league and fourth place in the league.
It was. And I mean, if we look at that office attack that you just mentioned, we're looking at small mistakes from Wolves that enables that. Like, for example, the Warden peeking outside in a 4 versus 5 into a glass. He might have not known it was a glass because, I mean, we only saw the smokes. But at the same time, why would you peek outside in a map where the hardest part of actually getting into the map is just getting in the first room?
Yeah.
You can get into the bathroom on the first floor. You can get into the little mud room on the first floor by a master bedroom as well. But it's very hard to enter. So you peeking outside when you're already down one man, that just gives away the round. And those small mistakes comes back to bite them.
You were in a perfect position, basically stuck between two indestructible walls that protects you. You're a Warden, you're supposed to just hold sight and wait until that push, and then you are lost in that position. It's unfortunate, and it's those small things where in the moment you can judge them now with, of course, hindsight, but in the moment itself, maybe that seemed like the best judgment.
Yeah, and if he rinses the glass off that angle, obviously we're saying it's the best play as well.
Yeah,
so,
he would have.
You know, it's a very small criticism.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
But it's what Skyscraper comes down to because of how defender favorite it is. It's all those small mistakes that the defenders make. all those small individual decisions, they need to be correct, because losing that one extra attack, well, defense didn't go so well.
Well, let's highlight one player from Team Secret. It is Savage. Calmer MVP of our match. If anything, Savage has been performing excellently through this stage, but what's it looking like in this
So
club, yeah?
Savage is an interesting character here, because he's not only the one who's been top fragging this game, he's also one of the leadership personalities within this team. And seeing how he's been able to transform this, because in the end, all these changes come from the leadership figures within the team. What he's been able to build this stage, he should be proud of himself for achieving, because a team that goes into second place and does it very convincingly, and they play very, very good Siege, with mastering both tempo, speed, all of that stuff, and just playing different ways of attacking and defending, they have done something really good, and I'm very impressed with them.
Thank you very much, Fabian. And that is, of course, Team Secret, our victors from this match. And standing by is their very own coach. Let's bring on Twister, calling all the way, I guess, I'm not even sure where Twister is. Twister, hello, how are you doing? Where are you calling in from now?
How are you, Mr. Lush? I'm back home. I'm on my laptop camera. That's why it's a little bit blur, but just making sure that it's very, very hot here in Brazil right now. So that's probably why.
Understandable. Well, Twister, I don't think it's just the heat in Brazil that is doing the work here on the camera. You're in front of it after all. Anyways, congratulations on the win. Fresh, any details you would like to ask about?
Yeah, I've got a little quick question, Twister, or a couple for you, I would say. First and foremost, what was the key difference for you today? Because obviously it was a high-stakes game today going into Wolves. You knew you had to pull out all of the stops. So I guess, first of all, talk me through the map, why you chose to go to Skyscraper, and then what do you think was the key difference for your team in terms of achieving the victory?
I do believe the key for us was the calm that we were able to keep through the game, being able to just follow our game plan, being able to deal with the adversities and whatever Wolves were being able to bring to us. This is a big shout out for Savage and for all the players being able to adapt into the small stuff that were being showed up. I think it was, I don't know, I have nothing else to say than the players just followed the game plan. They were being able to adapt into the small stuff that Wolves brought, and we grabbed the win, just playing better.
Well, now the big challenge is going from best of one to best of three in playoffs. How do you feel? Are you ready for that? Do you think that there's anything that needs to be changed up already? You have more time than most other teams to work on things.
As you guys were saying before as well, we are bringing a lot of different and new strats this season. So now that it's playoffs, it's time to change everything again and bring different stuff to surprise the other teams that we'll be playing against. But also, I do believe the group just deserves this big shout out. I came here today because they are too humble to speak about that. But Savage is doing great as an IGL. He's been able to lead the team quite well. Adrian is outperforming pretty much everyone, being his rookie season. Jum, Groovy, and Miracle as well, keeping up the consistency into the comms, being able to bring the team into this high level. I couldn't ask for more from them. I'm just excited for the playoffs.
I actually owe you a little bit of an apology as well, Marlon, about Adrian, because we had a nice conversation in Brazil about him. But actually, just talk us through that. So obviously, you've picked up Adrian. How much, I suppose, calling does he do behind Savage? Because obviously, Savage being the IGL, how does that dynamic work, and how has he evolved into that role?
Well, we basically work into a two kind of calling system. Savage is the main one. He basically deals with everything inside of the game. Everything that is needed, he's doing that, which I think it's crazy for one person to do. I never saw one person doing that before. But Adrian basically picks up everything that goes through. So once we need to organize something that is not being organized, once we need a countdown to do a push, once we need a side idea, he's being able to call. So I'm actually very impressed of how much good eye he has for the game since being his first season. I just think the only moment that he do his mistakes is once he's actually afraid of doing the calls, because his calls is actually great. Are actually great.
Was that something, so when you picked him up, was that something that you expected that he had, or is that something that you just kind of found out that he had as the trials and the scrims went on?
No, actually, I wasn't expecting that much. I was expecting a youngster that would be able to bring gunpowder and bring smartness and a good vibe for the team. And it was a good surprise because he's been able to show that he's more of a complete player than we ever thought about. We were into the choice between him and another player that went for another team right now. And we basically decided to bet into a young player that has a lot to be developed across the season. And that's so nice that it paid off, and everyone has a good vibe here, and he takes along with everyone, so it's been great. Adrian is a great player and a great person.
Just shows that investing in the right players and the up-and-comers in Europe, there's a lot that can be had on the other side. From underdogs, dark horses, and now to second place in EU League. That is a massive trajectory all the way up for Team Secret. Twister, would like to end it saying something to your fans out there?
Sure, we'd like to thank everyone that keeps cheering for us. We started the program of Team Secret at the right bottom, like almost going for relegation. And as every program, to be successful, we need time, we need the correct people. And I do think we are in the moment of that we are being able to build this up right now with the people that we like, with the system that we like. And just want to thank the fans, and don't forget to buy the skins, guys, the Buck skin and the new one that is coming up.
Ooh, all right. Very much looking forward to it. Thank you very much, Twister. Congratulations again to Team Secret. We will see you next week for more in the playoffs. But with that said, now done, and we know that Secret are in this position, let us recap the standings with Fabian.